When she landed, she spoke only my name. The crash happened on a Tuesday morning when the sky burned orange and the ground shook like thunder. Lisa Martinez was fixing her fence when the ship came down in the wheat field behind her house. The metal screamed against the earth and smoke rose black against the dawn sky. She dropped her hammer and ran toward the wreckage, even though every part of her mind screamed to run the other way. The ship was not like anything she had seen in movies. It was smooth and dark like polished stone with no visible seams or windows. Steam hissed from cracks in its hull and the air around it shimmered with heat. Lisa circled it twice, looking for a way inside before she found the opening. It opened like a flower, blooming in reverse. The metal petals folded back to reveal a chamber filled with soft blue light. Inside lay a woman or something that looked like a woman. She was tall with pale skin that seemed to glow from within. Her hair was white as snow and fell in waves past her shoulders. When she breathed, her chest rose and fell like any human, but her eyes were different. They were silver like mirrors, and when they opened, they looked right at Lisa. The alien woman spoke one word in a voice like wind, chimes Lisa. Nothing else. Just her name spoken with perfect pronunciation in a language that was not English, but somehow Lisa understood every syllable. The woman tried to sit up but gasped and fell back. Her silver blood ran from a cut on her forehead, and her left arm hung at a wrong angle. Lisa knew she should call someone, the police or the military or maybe the news stations. Instead, she found herself kneeling beside the injured woman. Her hands moved without conscious thought, checking for broken bones the way her mother had taught her when she was young. The alien woman's skin was warm and soft like human skin, but underneath, Lisa could feel something different. A strength that ran deeper than muscle and bone. The woman spoke again this time, more words but still in that impossible language that Lisa understood without hearing. My name is Zara. I have traveled far to find you. Lisa Martinez, daughter of Maria. Born under the constellation you call the Big Dipper. Lisa pulled her hands back, as if burned. How did this creature know her mother's name? How did she know about the birthmark on Lisa's shoulder that looked like 7 stars? Zara smiled, and the expression was so human and sad that Lisa felt tears come to her eyes. I know because I have been searching for you across 1,000 worlds. My people sent me to find the one who would understand, to find the bridge between our kinds. The words made no sense, but Lisa found herself helping Zara sit up. The alien woman was heavier than she looked, and her bones felt dense like stone. She leaned against Lisa, and her breath was warm on Lisa's neck. Your world is in danger, Lisa. The devourers come behind me. They consume everything, living everything beautiful. They have eaten the light from 17 stars, and now they hunger for yours. Lisa wanted to laugh or cry or run away. Instead, she asked the question that mattered most. Why me? Zara's silver eyes met hers, and Lisa saw depths there like looking into clear water that goes down. Forever, because you are the first human to show kindness without fear. Most of your kind would have run or called for weapons or tried to capture me, but you knelt beside me and checked my wounds. You offered help to a stranger who fell from the stars. The morning sun was climbing higher, and Lisa knew that soon someone would see the smoke and come to investigate. She helped Zara to her feet and was surprised when the alien woman stood nearly a foot taller than her. We need to go, Lisa said. My neighbor Jake will be checking his cattle soon, and the main road is just over that hill. Zara nodded and touched her ship with one pale hand. The metal folded inward like origami until it was no larger than a briefcase. She lifted it easily despite her injured arm and followed Lisa toward the house inside Lisa's kitchen. Zara sat at the small wooden table while Lisa made coffee. The normalcy of it felt strange, like entertaining an angel or a fairy tale princess. The alien woman's silver hair caught the light from the window and made patterns on the wall. Tell me about the devourers, Lisa said as she poured 2 cups. Zara wrapped her long fingers around the warm mug and inhaled the steam. They were like us once, explorers who traveled between stars seeking knowledge and beauty. But something changed them, made them hungry for more than food or water. They began to consume the life force of entire worlds, leaving only empty husks floating in space. She sipped the coffee and smiled with surprise. This is pleasant. Your people make many beautiful things. Lisa sat across from her and tried to process what she was hearing. How long do we have? 3 of your days. Maybe 4. My ship sent a signal when I crashed. They will follow it here. The coffee suddenly tasted bitter in Lisa's mouth. What can we do? How do we fight something like that? Zara reached across the table and took Lisa's hands. Her skin was cooler now but still soft. We cannot fight them with weapons or armies. They are too strong. But there is another way. My people discovered it by accident on a world much like yours. She paused and her silver eyes grew distant. The inhabitants of that world had something we had never seen before. They could share their emotions, their memories, their very souls across vast distances. When the devourers came expecting to find isolated prey, they instead found a web of connected minds that they could not break. Lisa felt a chill that had nothing to do with the morning air. You're talking about telepathy. Yeah, exactly, Zara said. Your kind calls it empathy, but it goes deeper than that. It is the ability to truly understand another being, to feel what they feel, and know what they know. My people can touch this power, but we cannot create it ourselves. We need a bridge. The kitchen fell silent except for the tick of the old clock on the wall. Lisa stared at her coffee and tried to make sense of everything she had heard. I'm not special. She said finally, I'm just a farmer. I grow wheat and fix fences and watch old movies on Saturday nights. Zara smiled and squeezed her hands gently. You showed me kindness when I was afraid and hurt. You brought me into your home and made me coffee. You listened to my story without calling me crazy. These things are not small, Lisa. They are the foundation of everything. A sound outside made them both freeze. It was the rumble of Jake's truck coming up the dirt road. Lisa looked at Zara and saw her own fear reflected in those silver eyes. What do we do now? Zara stood and moved to the window. Her ship had grown back to full size without Lisa noticing and now sat gleaming in the morning sun. Now we begin. Now we teach your people what mine learned too late. That connection is stronger than hunger, and love is the only force in the universe that the devourers cannot consume. She turned back to Lisa and held out her hand. Will you come with me, Lisa Martinez? Will you help me save both our worlds? Lisa looked at the alien woman standing in her kitchen with her silver eyes and impossible story. She thought about her quiet life and her small dreams. She thought about the wheat field where she had found a crashed ship and a woman who spoke her name like a prayer. Then she took Zara's hand and felt warmth spread through her like sunlight. The truck was getting closer and there was no more time for questions or doubts. Lisa grabbed her jacket and followed Zara outside toward the ship that would carry them to places she had never imagined. As they reached the opening, Zara turned to her one last time. Are you afraid? Lisa looked back at her house and her field and everything she had ever known. Terrified, she said. Zara laughed and it sounded like music. Good fear means you understand what we are about to attempt. But it also means you are brave enough to try. They stepped inside the ship together and the metal pedals closed behind them. The last thing Lisa saw through the closing door was Jake's truck cresting the hill and her old life disappearing behind a wall of living metal. The ship rose without sound or vibration and Lisa felt her stomach drop as the ground fell away below them. Through the transparent walls, she could see her house growing smaller and the wheat field where everything had changed, spreading out like a golden sea. Beside her, Zara was touching controls that looked more like musical instruments than machines. The ship responded to her touch like a living thing, eager to please. Where are we going? Lisa asked. To gather your people. Zara said. To find others like you who understand that strength comes from connection, not conquest. We have 3 days to build a network that spans your world. 3 days to teach humans what my people never learned. She looked at Lisa with those impossible silver eyes. 3 days to prove that love can stand against the darkness. The ship climbed higher and Lisa watched the curve of the earth appear below them, blue and white and beautiful beyond words. She thought about the devourers coming, behind them, hungry for the light of her world. She thought about Zara's people scattered among the stars. She thought about connection and empathy and the bridge she was supposed to become. Then she took a deep breath and began to believe that maybe impossible things were just waiting for the right moment to become real. The ship turned toward the rising sun and carried them both toward a future that neither of them could imagine. But both of them were brave enough to try to create.